A 16-year-old boy is standing in his father's house arguing that he should not go to college. He is not failing. He believes he is already winning. He has $53,000 in 1940s money, earned from paper routes, reclaimed golf balls, and a fleet of pinball machines in local barbershops. In today's money, that would be roughly $600,000. 70 years later, that same boy is worth more than the economies of most countries on Earth. He did it from a small house in Omaha that he bought for $31,000 and never moved out of. The richest investor in the world lived in the same house, ate the same kind of breakfast, and stayed in the same rooms for decades. That is not merely frugality, it is the whole secret hiding in plain sight. Warren Buffett had one central weapon, and he used it at three completely different ages of his life. The weapon was patience applied to money, decisions, and change. As a young man, he let money work while he slept by buying things that paid him whether he showed up or not. As an adult, he combined discipline with the temperament to buy when something was hated and cheap. As an old man, his hardest move was unlearning the exact trick that had made him rich because a better one had appeared. Beneath all three stages were patience, price, and temperament, not a secret tip. At 15, Buffett and a friend bought a used pinball machine for $25. They placed it in a barbershop and agreed to split the money with the owner. When they returned that first night, $4 were sitting inside the machine. Most teenagers would have spent the money, but Buffett saw a way to buy more machines. Within a week, he was placing additional machines in other barbershops. Instead of consuming the money, he fed it back into the thing that had produced it. The machines produced steady cash with almost no ongoing work beyond occasional maintenance and coin collection. Buffett had discovered money that continued arriving after the work was done. This was not a one-time experiment. He resold refurbished golf balls, buying them for $3.50 a dozen and selling them for $6. He also ran multiple paper routes at once. By 14, he had used $1,200 of paper route savings to buy a 40-acre farm and lease it to a tenant farmer. The golf balls and newspapers were jobs because he traded hours for dollars. The farm and the machines were assets because they paid rent or produced income without requiring his constant presence. The entire pattern began with modest savings, including roughly $9,800 accumulated by age 19. The pinball machine cost $25, but its importance came from what he did with the first $4 it earned. The choice was simple and boring. Buy another machine instead of a milkshake. Repeated choices like that became the foundation of everything that followed. As a young man, Buffett went looking for a teacher and studied under Benjamin Graham at Columbia. Graham had pioneered a value investing method built around buying things for less than they were worth, waiting for the gap to close and then selling. Buffett called the cheap, discarded and struggling stocks in this strategy cigar butts. They might have only one last puff of value left, but that final puff could still be profitable. In 1956, Buffett returned to Omaha and started Buffett Partnership. He contributed $100 of his own money and gathered about $105,000 from 7 partners, including his sister and aunt. He proved spectacularly effective at the cigar butt game. By 1962, the partnership had grown to $7.2 million, with Buffett's own stake worth more than $1 million. Then came the strangest chapter, beginning with a grudge. Buffett had been buying shares in a dying textile company called Berkshire Hathaway. In 1964, he agreed on a handshake to sell his shares back to the company's president for $11.50 each. The official offer arrived at $11.37.5, an eighth of a dollar below the agreement. That tiny difference made Buffett furious. He rejected the deal, bought more Berkshire shares and took control of the company, pushing its president out. He won the fight, but ended up owning a dying textile mill in a dying industry. Buffett later described buying Berkshire as one of the biggest mistakes of his life, a grudge purchase driven by ego. The cold discipline that made him rich had a shadow, pride over an eighth of a dollar. The same intensity that helped him wait out markets also allowed a grudge to trap billions in a failing business. The name Berkshire Hathaway survived as the foundation of one of the most valuable companies in America. Sometimes an empire is named after the wound that created it. Buffett was already rich and successful when another man helped him abandon his best-known method. Charlie Munger pushed him away from Graham's cigar butt bargains and toward paying a fair price for exceptional businesses. Munger's argument was simple. A cheap, bad business might provide one good pop and then go flat. A wonderful business could possess a durable competitive advantage, reinvest its cash at high returns and compound for years. The test case arrived in 1972 with See's Candies. Munger convinced Buffett to pay $25 million for a company earning only about $4 million a year, a price the old Graham-trained Buffett might have called absurd. See's Candies had something no cigar butt possessed: pricing power. Customers loved the product and continued paying more for it, allowing the business to generate enormous cash. That cash helped fund later investments, including Coca-Cola. The $25 million candy company eventually produced more than $2 billion for Berkshire. Buffett was already famous for one method, yet he discarded it when a better idea appeared. His genius was not only building an engine, it was being willing to rebuild it. If you are young, make the pinball move. When money arrives, ask whether it can buy something that pays you back. A skill, an asset, or an investment can become your own small machine. If you are an adult, watch your shadow. Discipline can become rigidity, boldness can become recklessness, and before a major decision, you should ask whether you are acting because it is right or because you are angry. Whatever your age, be willing to unlearn. Ask what if the thing that got you here is now the thing holding you back. Buffett was never really buying money, he was buying time. Every dollar he did not spend stayed inside the machine and continued compounding. He did not build his fortune through yachts or constant consumption. He built it by letting small things sit and grow while everyone around him grabbed at their $4. Buffett did not get rich in a single moment. He got rich by holding one direction for decades without flinching. A $25 machine, a candy store, and a house he never left were all small choices held for a very long time. You already have your own version of the $25 machine, a skill to compound, a habit to keep, or an asset to start. It may be small enough to ignore now, but so was Buffett's. Warren Buffett did not have a secret. He simply refused to spend the $4.